Finally, guys, the community update number 7 is here, and let's talk about what the devs are working on the upcoming update and in the future of War Thunder. We have stuff for 5th generation jets, we have new tank modules, we have a lot of things. So this video is more focused on just trying to maximize the time over here. We're gonna try to pass over all the topics without you having to read all of them. Okay, that's the idea of the video. So I'm gonna give kind of a wrap up of every single thing without you having to read everything. Okay, so first of all, get yourself some community update goodies. So basically now you can get the decal again of the secret documents and some other things, you know. So you can get the community update pack that you can basically buy for €4, I think it is. So yeah, it's just, you know, some profile frames, decals, stuff like that, okay? Nothing too crazy. And you can get the decal again of secret documents using this code over here in this link that I will leave in the description. You can go here and click it out, okay? This is the least interesting news, of course, so let's get to it, to the major thing. So upcoming in the next major update, new tank modules. So they are saying that the T series of tanks, T64 and T80 especially, they're going to receive a better module for the autoloader, which makes sense, as you see, old and new, to be able to be heated and disabled a little bit in a more easier manner, a little bit more realistic, right? As well, T72s, T90s, ZTZs, VT4s, and WZ1001, all of these tanks will receive some form of similar upgrade to their internal modules, okay? New naval feature coming soon. Apparently, you will be able to fire your main guns together with the secondary ones at the same time or not with a button instead of a toggle. So that's pretty cool. More fuel dumping for aircraft. So aircraft like the Gripen, the F-15, 16, the F-18, the Eurofighter, the Rafale, the Su-27, the Flanker family of vehicles, the Tornadoes, to name a few, will be able to do the fuel dumping, which is pretty great. Another thing, I'm sorry guys, this is, it's personally for me, it's not, but I feel like it because I always wanted this. So the F-16As, the upgraded F-16As are finally receiving the M120 and they're gonna be very fun to fly. So the F-16A for the Italians, the F-16 for the Americans, the ADF, right, and the Chinese MLU are all going to receive M120s and of course an increasing BR. I know, some people will dislike this, I understand you as well. But guys, this is very fun because the F-16A, remember, it is one of the most maneuverable F-16s in the game. And now we will be able to carry MRAMs, right? So it's going to be a very fun aircraft to fly, especially the MLU, I think, because it's the most modern in terms of radar and stuff. So very, very cool. It's something that I've been asking for a long time if you watch the channel, and I just love it. Of course, I know some people will dislike this change, but yeah. Nuclear carriers are getting updated. Finally, guys. The F-111F, the Tornado Asta, and the Su-24M, for example, are going to be replacing the top tier or 11.3 plus BR onwards, you know, aircraft for nuclear delivery, okay? So in ground battles, you're gonna spawn in one of these aircraft instead of the older ones, which is great. These aircraft can defend themselves a little bit better. It is just going to be a little bit more modern as well. It's not a very interesting thing to have kind of a T-90M on the ground and then you're using Su-7 to deploy a nuclear bomb. It's kind of weird, right? So yeah, this is great. Radar UI improvements. This is a great change that they're introducing. As you can see right now over here, we're going to have better systems and a better way to actually click on stuff on the radar, right? So the objective here is to minimize the amount of hotkeys you need, right? And also to remind you what are them anyway, right? So you're going to be able to, you know, hold the mouse button and click on them to make them work. And also they're going to appear, if you want to, of course, on the radar screen for you to actually check it out. So it is a pretty interesting change that I think will bring a lot to the table over here. It's going to make radar usage a lot easier, especially in the higher tiers that you have a lot of modes and a lot of systems inside the same radar, okay? So very, very cool. More detailed cockpits for some of the helicopters. cockpits for the helicopters, right? So the Comanche, they're working on, very, very cool, as you see. Mi-8, amazing cockpit as well. The K829 as well. So very, very cool as well. See? Very detailed. Of course, I know some people will complain, why are the bombers? But at least they're working on the helicopters, right? Then we go about the vehicles. What are the vehicles for the next update? So they confirmed indeed that we're gonna receive new surface-to-air missile vehicles for 4 nations in the next update, okay? So the UK, the Italians, the French, and the Soviets. Yes, the Soviets are gonna receive a new AA as well, which is weird. I hope it's the Buck, but, you know, that's just me talking. And yeah, it's great to see the Italians, the French, the UK. The USSR, it's kind of like, do they really need it? So yeah, Russian AA systems coming and some for the others. And the confirmation of the leak that we had earlier, guys. So the Japanese are going to indeed receive TIE vehicles for the ground. They are talking about the Stingray. They're talking about the M60. Apparently, the Commando Stingray will also be coming to the US. I think it's a little bit different than the CCVL, right? You tell me in the comments. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know much about these vehicles. So, yeah, not going to talk too much about it. M60, like I said before, the MC163. And, of course, they said we are plotting one more tank, too. So, plotting. I mean, this choice of wording over here kind of confirms the plot as well, I think, in my opinion. So yeah, interesting, right? They say, of course, there are, of course, other vehicles coming as well. Aircraft that stink. So guys, I mean, it's kind of the same meme from before that they use, the aircraft that stink. So I don't know. I have a feeling that this is the Super Hornet, okay? It might not be. It might be completely different, but I have a feeling that it is the Super Hornet, okay? It would make sense, but I don't know. Yeah, you tell me. Aircraft that stinks, it should be the Super Hornet, right? Tanks, helicopters, and naval vessels, of course. Wait for the devlogs that are coming very, very soon, right? Next event vehicles. So they talk about the 106 that just came out, of course. And yeah, the next one will be high seas with the naval event, German ship battlecruiser. So unfortunately, I thought it was going to be a tank. But the next one is going to be a ship again. So I don't play too much ships. So honestly, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I really don't know much about it, right? But yeah, next event vehicle will be a German ship battlecruiser. And then after that, it will be an amphibious American tank. Okay, so that's interesting. So we're going to have to wait and see. They're doing some very good changes to the spawn costs, point costs, for vehicles, for aircraft in ground battles. So to wrap it up, everything that they say here, pretty much what they're gonna do is change the base cost. Instead of being for the vehicle type, or class, it is now going to be for the vehicle, for the aircraft loadout. So what does that mean? So before you could spawn in an attacker with, how many bombs and missiles you could have on it. And then you could spawn in a fighter with just as many, depending on the fighter, bombs and missiles and rockets and everything, and spawn in with the base cost of a normal fighter before, right? So now this secondary kind of spawn will be more focused on the loadout. So for example, if you used a striker or attacker aircraft that uses a Maverick, if you spawn in with a fighter that also uses a Maverick, it's not going to be the base cost anymore because it was a different class of vehicle. It is now going to be higher because you're using the same missiles. But if you, change it up for a bomb or like an air-to-air missile or something, then it's going to be the base cost. So it's a little bit different. I think it's a great change. It means a little bit more balance and a lot less, CAS dominance, I would say, right? Scouting through UAVs as well. Now it's going to be able to be done with the UAV itself and not by the tank itself only, so you will be able to get your scout drone out there, properly ping the enemy vehicle. It's just going to have a little bit more when you're using that type of scout. It's going to take a little bit more time to, reload or the cooldown, right, of it. But it is going to be able to do that. Of course, before you would have to mark where the vehicle was and then click the button looking at the marker with the tank, right? So to avoid that problem, they introduced that, but with a larger cooldown when you are using. And then 5th generation jet, the last thing, yes, BVVD, Vyacheslav Balanikov, just is giving us some answers about the 4th and 5th generation. So we're gonna just read them and kind of take a look on them because we have very important information here. So he said, "We're happy to see the attention that the game is getting and the enthusiasm for modern aviation. And today we want to talk a little bit more about our plans regarding 4++ and 5th generation aircraft especially, right? The game already has the first iconic examples of 4+ and 4++ generation jets, aircraft, but we plan to add a few more of these aircraft to different research trees before moving into 5th generations," which makes sense. It just, it does, right? You shouldn't expect an F-22 without having a Super Hornet first, for example, right? At the moment, for example, not all nations have top-tier jets with the most modern Electronics Canada Raiders. Yeah, I mean, Eurofighters don't have those. The Americans don't use them, if I'm not mistaken, for now, so it makes sense. I'm pretty sure the Super Hornet will be the first American one, to be honest. And we would like to close this gap first. It just makes sense. Please, Gaijin, for the love of God, do this with everything. Don't jump technologies. Just slowly add them and fix them throughout the years. It is way better. It takes more time, but it's just way better. There are also several modern warfare technologies that enrich gameplay that have not yet been implemented to War Thunder. I wonder what he's talking about here. Sometimes it feels like it is about electronic countermeasures like ECM, right? But it might not be that. So I honestly don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, but hopefully it is that. I don't think he's talking about, SEED. Maybe it is, but it feels like a more air warfare in the terms of air-to-air. I mean, I'm reading between the lines over here, but yeah. This process will take several major updates, and the first 5th generations will not appear in the game before the second half of next year. So, yeah, guys, confirm that the plans internally of Gaijin is to not add 5th generations until the second half of 2026, which makes sense, guys. Yeah, the leaks appear there, and they are probably working on the models already of F-22s and stuff, but it takes time. It takes time. The game needs to be in a certain place, etc., etc. We hope this news will not upset fans of these aircraft too much. Me personally, I'm okay with this because they need to take time adding this type of thing, because if not, it breaks the game. Especially as there are a lot of interesting aircraft ahead. Yeah, of course, there's so many 4+ generation jets that could come that it's just, yeah, it needs to be well thought about. So this is it, basically, okay, guys? So thank you, Gaijin, for doing this post. The more you guys do these posts, if you're listening, the better. This brings a lot of information about the game. Sorry for the longer video, guys, but yeah, it brings a lot of things for the upcoming update. We can kind of have an idea. Expect major leaks to come very, very soon. I think, yeah, some things that we can highlight over here is of course, the radar modes, the UI for radars, the Super Hornet probably coming, and of course, 5th generation jets together with, the overall, improvements with F-16s, nuclear carriers and stuff. It's gonna be a very good patch, I have a feeling, but controversial, like Zabi said before, right? So this was it. I will leave this in the link in the description so you can check it out and read it. See you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye.